So I want us to discuss a strategy to get out of debt. Anybody in the room who has a loan and they need a strategy? If there's none, we can move on. Okay. There's Mshwari, there's Tala, there's Branch, there's Standard Chartered. There's Help. But Help, are you even feeling Help? So here's my strategy. Number one, pray. And it's not a joke, by the way. Just pray about it, commit it to prayer and tell God, by the way, I am really looking forward to getting rid of this debt. And I want to get rid of this debt. Grant me favor with my creditors. Grant me favor with my creditors, particularly if you have loans with a kiosk guy, with your auntie, with your cousin, with a guy who sits next to you at work, and with a bank and with a SACCO, and you've not paid your monthly payment plans as you should have. So guys are not talking to you. So now you're just like, oh my gosh, I want to, you know, this is not, I'm not saying anybody in the room is in this situation, but I had a colleague and you know, it was so interesting. He had borrowed from the bank, he had a loan with a SACCO, he had a loan with virtually, except me, virtually every single person in the office. Every single person in the office, because I found out later that he had borrowed 5K from this one, 15K from this other guy, and so on and so forth. That one day I came to the office and he was not there. And it was weird because he hardly went on leave. Like, he enjoyed being in the office. You know, there are those guys who just love being in the office. So we're like, day number 2, he's not called, we tried to call him, phone dead. We called his wife. Hajaonekana tujui ameenda wapi. We knew she's lying. Do you know he just disappeared? He is not to be seen till today. It has been a year and a half. I have no idea where this guy is. Only to find out he was so overwhelmed with the loans he had taken that he literally up and left. He's probably somewhere in Middle East. I don't know. But he's not in this country. But why? Why does it need to get there? So my prayer. So when you pray, first of all, you'll be able to now see, you know what, nothing is ever too crazy. You know, I can renegotiate my terms with my creditors and we'll see how to repay in a way that I can afford. Number 2 is, if the debt is from spending and keeping on borrowing, you know how you borrow from this guy to pay the other guy, okay, I need fuel, okay, can I borrow 5,000? Stop that. Walk, you know? Stop borrowing for things that are not assets. First, stop. Number 3 is, I want you to list down, and if you can think about them now, great. List down your debts from number 1 to number 5, however they are, from smallest debt, irrespective of the interest rate, to the largest. So you list your debt from the smallest to the largest, irrespective of the interest rates. If there's 2 debts that are exactly the same in amount, then what you do is you list the one with the higher interest rate first. But that's the only condition. Otherwise, it's really about the amount, the smallest amount to the largest amount. Then look at your spending. You will need to do a tracking of your expenses and how much you're spending every single month to understand how much am I really spending per month. You know, how much do you spend on fuel, or transport generally, on food, on accommodation or rent? How much are you spending? So that then you know how much then do you have available to you to start repaying the debt. Are we together? Because if you don't know, you're just guessing, yeah, I have 10,000 available, but really is it? Because sometimes you can do your tracking and you realize, oh, I thought I had 10,000 available, but I can actually stop buying my vegetables from Gara. There's a guy next door who brings to my home and it is 2,000 bob cheaper, or it's 1,000 bob cheaper. I don't know. You can find ways to tweak your expenses in such a way that you're able to create a little bit more money based on your expenses, or get rid of a certain expense altogether. Perhaps even maybe move back home. And if you do your tracking and you see, yani yenyewe, I don't have the ability to get any money from here, I'm literally living from hand to mouth, then I would say what you do is look at what do you have. She was talking about God and money. I was looking at 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 to 7. And this lady was in debt. She had nothing. She was in debt. She didn't have a job. And she was crying to Elisha saying, I have nothing my sons are going to be taken as slaves by my husband's creditors because my husband has died and he left us with a loan. I don't know what to do. Elisha asked her, what do you have in your house? So in your house, in your homes, you have something. You have a chair you can sell. You have couches you can sell. You have your bed. You just sleep on the mattress. Sell the bed. You will raising your eyebrows, eh? Like, yeah, I can. You can. You can sleep on a mattress for the next 6 months as you get things together. Pay off some of the debt. At least get some cash flows. And then now rebuild again. Because you need to get rid of debt as a prerequisite to investing. Particularly debt, and the debt I'm talking about is not debt for assets. It's debt for consumables. Things that you went into debt for. For your suit, for your wedding, for a trip, for a holiday you went for. You know, whatever it is that you bought that is not an asset, you need to pay off that debt. Because it doesn't make sense. If you have credit card debt, by the way, you need to pay it off very fast. Because the interest rate that you're paying on that is crazy. It's about 47% per annum. Are we together? So then after you have done the list and then you have found how much money do I have available to me to start paying off this debt, then I start calling each of my creditors and negotiating with them to tell them, by the way, I know I said I could pay 5K every month, but the reality is I can't. Can I reduce it to 1,000? Everybody wants to be paid back, even the bank. So you would call the bank and negotiate for them to what do you call it? Maybe to stretch the length of the loan. It was a year, maybe you can stretch to 36 months as opposed to 12 months. But negotiate with your creditors so that then your minimum payments and on each of the debts is paid every month. So that you're not ignoring one of the debts because you're overwhelmed, but you're paying an amount that is comfortable to you and at the same time not disappointing any creditor. Because the most valuable thing you guys have, and all of us, me included, is our names. And you lose your name and your credibility and you're not able to get a loan in the future when you're reported by CRB, then it just sabotages your ability to get a job, ability to get work. You know, you're in trouble with so many different people. It just affects your life in such huge ways. It's just not worth it. So don't get into trouble with any creditor, even if that creditor is small. Pay the minimum available or minimum possible balances on each and every loan you have.